Banks with Thili and Dablock.
Yes. Boom.
Boom. Yeah, that boom is starting to sound like Michael Cole's bang.
Well, I'm just doing Adam Cole, baby.
Oh yeah.
Is the boom.
Yeah, man. All right.
Or I guess Kofi Kingston too. Boom drop.
Yeah, the boom drop. Yeah.
There's lots of booms in wrestling. Boom. Natalia's got a big boom.
Yeah. What she did this week, she almost pulled off. Oh wait, we can't even. I'm not even talking about that. Never mind. That's Sunday.
Yep, we can't do that.
Can't even do that. That's Sunday. We gotta talk on Sunday about that. So we are gonna bring to you Raw, SmackDown, and highlights from AEW and NJPW. Do I really feel like reading through this whole thing? Okay, fine. We'll read through this whole thing. All right. For 4 months, Sasha Banks was conspicuous by her absence. Her name in the streets, even as she stayed out of sight and minded her own business in the aftermath of WrestleMania. And in her first significant return on the mic since her return 2 weeks ago, the boss took the opportunity to correct and confirm a few blind items that persisted since her departure. Yes, she threw a fit at the showcase of the Immortals. Yes, she cried on the locker room floor. And yes, she took her ball and went home. The why, however... Come again?
I was just saying bitch after all the three things that she
okay. It was a bitch move still. The why, however, was far from what was rumored. The reason the boss was so despondent was because she'd been relegated to a tag team match she didn't care about, defending titles she didn't care about, while Becky Lynch got to main event spotlight against Ronda Rousey and Charlotte Flair. To reclaim the spotlight, Sasha knew she needed a perfect plan, which is why she picked a precise moment to heinously ambush the grieving Natalya 2 weeks ago. And even though Becky Lynch came to save the day, the boss's mission was accomplished. She had the WWE Universe's attention, and she had the spotlight and all the glory she deserved. Natalya's arrival somewhat rained on Banks' parade as the Queen of Hearts sprinted towards the ring, began trading haymakers with Sasha at ringside. The Queen of Hearts' vicious throwdown showed the boss that she isn't quite as impervious as she thinks. Natalya may have gained an edge in advance on the match against Banks later tonight, but it's hard to believe the fight didn't play into Sasha's hands even further. Now, everyone's talking about her for one more reason.
Yeah, and well, we all know that's what Sasha wants. Sasha wants all the attention, like character-wise, won't kayfabe, but yeah, her whole thing is she wants to be the legit boss. She wants to be seen as the face of the division. She wants to be all this stuff. One thing I'm going to say for sure is, anyone who is listening in our build-up to WrestleMania knew my feelings on Sasha lately, which is that up to the WrestleMania, I felt like it wasn't necessarily creative that was ruining Sasha Banks. I thought Sasha Banks was ruining Sasha Banks. To quote Vince McMahon, Sasha screwed Sasha. Because she got very complacent ever since the back and forth feud with Charlotte when they did the Hell in a Cell and the first ever Fall Count Anywhere win, all the first matches that they did.
Yep.
I felt like she got very complacent after that. I did kind of like she really trying hard there. But props to Sasha since she's come back. She's been rocked on the mic. She's using the little hit that she threw at WrestleMania to her advantage in a big way. It's not, it's her very cataloging of the fact that she was a white little bitch, but it's her being that be like, hey, I think you should appreciate anything that I'm doing. Like, so I thought she's pulling off the half chick shit still very well.
Okay, right. Yeah, it's something you want for since WrestleMania, no? Before WrestleMania.
Yeah, it's something that I've been asked for since she called up the main roster 3 years ago. Like, I thought Ratchet, she is fuck the other, the actual change. Sasha is a ratchet character, and that's exactly what she's coming at very, very cocky.
When it gets into stereotype, you make her into that ratchet character. You get into the conflicting up, but you do get into the stereotypes, like...
No, not necessarily.
Yeah, bro.
I think it depends, because now there's a way where that's bad, and there's a way that that's good. It's good where it's generating heat on somebody that should, right? Like, we're supposed to kind of feel not great about Sasha being ratchet. But she is ratchet. Like, everything she's doing is ratchet as fuck. You know, it doesn't go into what some people call ratchet, where it's, you know, the you know, someone being a hoe or going after other chicks' mans and shit like that. But, you know, she's killing it. And I think as long as she gets to decide how ratchet it is, in what way, like, you know, if they start booking her in ways where they're making her do the most stereotypical hood rat shit, then yeah, that's a problem. Like, that's a huge problem.
But the label ratchet can be associated with hood rat, which is the whole.
Yeah.
Like.
It totally can. But that's what I was saying, right? It can. It's not necessarily, like, right now she's not being a hood rat. Nothing she's doing is hood ratish. But it is ratchet. Like, it is fucking savage, uncalled for nonsense.
Mm-hmm. This is true.
Like, you know, attacking. If some girl attacked someone that I knew who was grieving, or, you know, doing a tribute to the father that they had lost actually exactly a year ago to that day, and some chick comes in with fucking blue hair under a red hair wig and beats the fuck out of my girl, that other girl's ratchet. Unless I'm just, I may not understand the term ratchet enough, but I know Sasha's ratchet as shit.
Hey, the current character has her doing things that can be seen as such. I'm just, like I said, I'm just looking at the overall imagery.
Yeah, I don't think that she is, you know, in real life. I'm not gonna twist it. I don't think she's, you know, an awful person by any means. I think she was a bit of a baby, but I don't think she's. I got nothing against Sasha as a person. I think professionally she was a little shitty, but I think she plays that role extremely well, like better than most. And her as a heel for the next, you know, let's say at least a year, that would be wonderful.
Well, spoiler alert. Well, with their new companion, I don't see why they wouldn't run it the way. I don't see why they wouldn't run it that way. But again, that's just my opinion. Let's get on to this.
Well, we'll get into more of that on Sunday on what that means. Yeah.
All right, let's get up. You want to handle the next one? I'm having a few technical difficulties over here.
Yeah, sure. So, first round match for the King of the Ring tournament, Ricochet defeated Drew McIntyre. The sound you hear is that sound you hear is the busting of brackets nationwide. Drew McIntyre is out of the King of the Ring tournament, having been handed a first-round exit by Ricochet. That, while not exactly an upset per se, isn't necessarily not an upset. That's a horrible sentence.
That was terrible! Oh my gosh!
Let me try that again. While not exactly an upset per se, it isn't necessarily not an... Okay, so that would be a good double negative if the previous thing had been proper, but this is not. So what it should say is, while not exactly an upset per se, it isn't necessarily not an upset either. Scott had been reasonably tabbed by anyone with a working pair of eyes and ears as far as a favorite to win it all, while Ricochet's size difference rendered him something of the long shot in the prognosticator's eyes, at least for this match. That McIntyre was visibly buying into his own hype didn't necessarily doom him. Yes, he pompously sat on the King of the Ring throne and waved the scepter around before the match, but he also thoroughly manhandled his opponent in the early going. That was looking like a textbook example of a superstar talking the talk and backing it up. McIntyre had an answer for everything, and the former United States champion was forced to improvise his way out of the Scotsman's various traps. Luckily for Ricochet, chaotic improvisation is where he lives, and all he needs is a single opening. The high flyer stopped McIntyre cold with a recoil off the turnbuckle, leaving his towering foe down long enough to set up and execute a 630 for the win. And with a favorable matchup against Samoa Joe looming, remember, Ricochet beat him for the U.S. title, the high flyer is suddenly looking like a favorite himself, and that Twitter handle is one step closer to becoming a reality. So that is an interesting point that I was actually thinking of during that match.
Two steps.
Is the King Ricochet
from Prince Puma to King Ricochet?
Well, exactly. He was, he was Prince Puma, and then he started calling himself King Ricochet, I think, in NXT, maybe even on the Indies. And I think it'd be pretty. I'd be super okay with Ricochet being the first King of the Ring of this, decade.
Okay.
And actually, probably, the last King of the Ring of this decade, because the next one will be 2020.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
I just realized I have to change my. I just realized I have to change my logo. Because it's the same. It's the same. A similar concept as one of the artists that was performing at the show that I was at.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, bro. Like, it's just this branding thing is not as easy as they make it look. All right. Baron Corbin defeats The Miz. King of the Ring first round match. All right. King Corbin, say it. Say the words like a fine vintage, or spit it out like swill if you prefer. But get used to the idea either way, because Baron Corbin is still in the King of the Ring tournament. Not only that, but there are a very real chance he makes a deep run, leaving The Miz in the rear view to land himself a matchup against Cedric Alexander in the quarterfinals, where Corbin holds the size advantage. That's likely awful news for everyone in the WWE universe who continues to clamor for Corbin's humiliation, but little more than fuel for the lone wolf who has made a career off upsetting his legends of Boo Birds. As for The Miz, his burning desire, I want it all. Got him to the cusp of victory, but no further, as Corbin kicked out of the skull-crushing finale and caught Miz off the springboard with the end of days. And yes, Corbin putting the King of the Ring crown and lounging back on the throne surely rankled a few feathers, and as did his sneering insults for the commoners who besmirched his name in the digital pool. But as always, it mattered not to him. The king can do as he likes. Baron Corbin is just getting a head start.
So Corbin is my pick for the King of the Ring.
You sure?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
All
Corbin's my pick. We obviously won't go into anything from yesterday, but I think Baron Corbin and his promo the little promo he cut on the throne, the fact that everyone hates his guts except me is I think that's good news for Corbin's chances. Because goddamn it, is it nice when a heel wins King of the Ring.
Yeah, Stone Cold did it.
If we think of Stone Cold Steve Austin, in my opinion, Stone Cold Steve Austin was the best King of the Ring victory of all time. It's the reason that we have the Austin 316 catchphrase, because he cut that on Jake the Snake Roberts after he beat him, telling him to get that piece of trash out of my ring. John 316 says, or Austin 316 says, I just whooped your ass. So, I think heels do best as King of the Ring. It's not a very face thing to call yourself the king.
William Regal was a heel. King Booker.
Yep. King Booker was a heel.
Yeah. Brett was a face.
Brett was a face at the time when he won.
Owen?
As was, I feel like another Canadian won the King of the Ring tournament.
Owen won it too, but I'm not sure if he was a face.
He was a heel. No, he was a heel. Owen was definitely a heel. That is who I was thinking of, though. You're right. But yeah, Owen won it. He's got two of the hearts. I think I'm so happy they brought back King of the Ring, and I've seen a lot of people complain that it's not a pay-per-view where it's just it's the King of the Ring tournament all in one night. But I think I like it better. It's not better this way, but I think I like it just as much this way. It's a good move, and it's really fun to see something old come back that way.
Yeah. They had it a couple years ago. I don't know why they pulled it, but either way.
I think the last one was like 2012 or 13.
Can we get a date on when the last King of the Ring was before this one? Sorry, I'm going to my Oracle for the information. All right. Until we get that information, we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah. The last one was 2015.
2015?
Yeah.
Okay. I knew it was more recent than 2012, but I didn't want to say anything until I could confirm it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you are 1,000% correct on that.
All right. All right. Is Bayley biting off more than she can chew by defending the SmackDown Women's title against Charlotte Flair? SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley defeats Women's Tag Team Champion Nikki Cross. You know what? I can't even say anything. Never mind. The answer is, at least on Raw, is that she may have a better chance than the naysayers think. The Huggable One knocked off another title holder, WWE Tag Team Champion Nikki Cross, in a match that quickly turned into a knockdown drag-out war of attrition. Bayley broke the stalemate with a top rope elbow and perhaps reminded the WWE Universe about her history as she marches towards Charlotte. When she bets on herself, she tends to win.
Yep, that is true. Thank God Bayley is such a sweet person.
I'm telling you. Although I noticed she's wearing makeup a little bit more makeup lately.
Yep.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean anything though. I'm sure she's going to be she'll be just as nice and sweet as she always has been for the foreseeable future. Nothing could change.
I mean, are we doing our WWE math?
Nothing could change.
Right, okay, on to the next one. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode won the largest tag team turmoil match in Raw history to earn the right to challenge Raw Tag Team Champions Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman at Clash of Champions. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode are now next in line to challenge Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman for the Raw Tag Team titles. And if that sentence isn't strange enough, these two have been tag teams for a grand total of one night. Consider how they got the nod in the first place, winning the largest tag team turmoil in Raw history and outlasting a field that included the OC, the Revival. You're not gonna say it?
Oh, top guys. Yeah, I'm just upset. I'm so upset.
Zack Ryder and Kurt Hardens,
All of this.
the B Team, the Lucha House Party, the Viking Raiders, and Heavy Machinery. That's 4 former tag team champions, 1 team of unpredictable veterans, and 2 pairs of hosses. In terms of
is the best term ever.
in terms of big wins, we've gone past glorious and entered the realm of miraculous.
I'm so happy they used the term hoss in that.
Yeah.
That's fucking amazing.
And yet, nobody can say it wasn't earned. The Viking Raiders' early win over the B Team was nullified by a double disqualification against the OC, leaving Ziggler and Roode with the benefit of a clean slate. They made good on that chance, running the table against the Lucha House Party, super kick to the back of Grand Metalic's head, and the Revival, glorious DDT to Scott Dawson, and Ryder and Hawkins super kick to Ryder to bring down to the wire against Heavy Machinery. They played they played the matchup perfectly too, isolating Tucker with the 2-on-1 assault that designed to keep Otis from getting into the match. When Heavy Machinery turned the tables to set up the compactor, Ziggler struck zigzagging Otis on top of Tucker to set him up for a glorious DDT. An unlikely victory as ever, and given the chemistry shown tonight, it might not be the last. After all, Ziggler and Roode aren't so far from Rollins and Strowman, who were brought together by happenstance themselves. This is going to be interesting.
Is it, Benino? Is it going to be interesting? Seeing fucking Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode potentially be tag team champions
Bobby!
Instead of the OC or Tough Guys. Like, come on.
Hey man, it's something new. That's what the people want, right? They don't want the same predictable stuff. They want to see something new.
Oh, it is not something new. Dolph Ziggler teaming with someone random that's better than him to become tag team champions is a story as old as time.
Are you sure I shouldn't be calling you Corey instead of Thili?
Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely do that. What I will say is Jesus once watched a match between Dolph Ziggler and Barabbas versus 2 better people.
Wow. You want to take this one?
Yes, absolutely. Sasha's Ratchet and I love her. Ratchet, Sasha Banks defeats Natalya. About the best thing that can be said for Natalya in her match with Sasha Banks is that she refused to go down without a fight, or to wait for her injured arm to heal before she tried her hand against the boss for the sake of her own pride and the pride of her family. The decision cost her greatly, but at least she was able to leave Raw secure in the fact that she did not let Banks insult fans. Unfortunately, that's probably the worst thing that can be said for the match as well. It was painfully apparent that the clipped wing the Queen of Hearts was facing an uphill battle against the healthy Banks, especially after the boss repeatedly slammed her arm into the ring post. Natalya certainly made it interesting against the Snake, who insulted her, but her injured arm left her unable to apply the sharpshooter, and the boss capitalized, locking in the Banks statement and using that same arm as leverage point against Natalya's throat. The returning former champion did not hesitate at all to add insult to injury after the match, trapping Natalya in yet another Banks statement just for kicks. Michael Cole was at a loss for words as he tried to determine why a star as accomplished as Banks would stoop to savaging Natalya in such a manner when she had already claimed the victory. The question might just answer itself. Clearly, when it comes to Sasha Banks, she's ratchet. No, the submission was nice, but the statement was the point. And as long as people are talking, she wins. So, yeah, I mean, this is another great section. Natalya is great. I thought it was strange that they had her still pretending to be injured in this match, and then have the injury seem to get worse. And then, not to spoil anything, but this week she had a match and she didn't seem very hurt at all. They kind of pretended that wasn't, at least from what I remember, it didn't seem like anybody focused on the arm.
There was conversation about it.
Yeah, exactly. It was, but still great. Like I love Natalya. I think she's super underrated by general people. I think there's a tendency that where she gets underused by creative a bit, but I think it's also understandable considering the amount of talent that they have on the women's roster.
Okay.
It's got to be hard to balance that specific roster right now because of all the talent, all the people like, and all the eyes on things where people are saying like, oh, you're not using this person enough, you're not using this person enough. This is you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of backlash that can happen from simple decisions in creative at this moment. I mean.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here, I'll get the next one. Cedric Alexander defeats Cesaro. In his very first match as a Raw superstar, 4 months ago, Cedric Alexander fought the good fight against Cesaro and came up short. The tables turned in their latest matchup, and it was the Swiss Cyborg who found himself taking the L. Though not before he gave Alexander a parting gift that may well haunt the former WWE Cruiserweight Champion down the stretch of the tournament. Alexander was looking to keep his sea legs before the King of the Ring quarterfinals, and Cesaro was attempting to regain his after a first-round ouster at the hands of Samoa Joe. But long-term consequences also came into play. Thanks to Cesaro's ruthless attack on Alexander's knee and ankle, Alexander powered through the pain, catching the Swiss Cyborg with a lumbar check out of nowhere, but the wisdom of that strategy may be up for question. Baron Corbin now has a big fat target that he won't hesitate to exploit during the quarterfinals next week. Clearly, however, heart goes a long way, and unless that gives out, Alexander's got a fighting chance. Great match. Cesaro's a killer. Cedric's a killer. I could watch these two have a match every single week.
I think by this time of night, I was actually getting ready to go on stage to perform.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I'm sitting here like, why does none of this sound familiar to me?
Yep.
I now know why, because I didn't get to see it.
Oh.
But, we're still here. We got the recap. You listening to Tough Talks with Thili and the Block.
Yes, sir. Boom.
There we go. I'm leaving spaces for his sound effects, and he's like.
Listen, this is an episode where I'm actually drinking too, so.
Okay.
I will take the L on some of these follow-ups I'm supposed to be doing, but not.
Oh, okay. Oh man, my bad. But okay, so now that I know, United States Champion AJ Styles defeats Raw Tag Team Champion Braun Strowman via disqualification. Look at the look on his face, man. That's so. If not for a truly chaotic series of events, Braun Strowman would have the United States Championship to go with his Raw Tag Team title right now. Unfortunately, disaster struck during the Monster Men's title match against AJ and the Phenomenal One staggered out with Old Glory by virtue of disqualification win. Though Strowman made sure he would walk back to the locker room would be a painful one indeed. Things had progressed much as you might expect. Styles targeted Braun's base with the calf crusher. The big man shook it off until Braun crashed headlong into the referee Chad Patton, sending him tumbling to the outside. Styles took advantage with a thumb to the eye and a low blow, with the rest of the OC running interference and putting the boots to Strowman. Braun shook that off too, beating back Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson single-handedly. No Seth Rollins, no problem, before wailing on all three with a chair. Unfortunately, Patton came to the right at that exact moment, having heard but not seen enough to disqualify Strowman and save Styles' title. It wasn't enough to save his hide. Strowman obliterated the OC with a chair and a final running power slam to AJ, having to settle for a moral victory instead of a literal one, and one title instead of two, at least for a few weeks.
Yeah, well, and that is the key there. I mean, God damn it. Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, it's not that easy, is it, Corey?
No, God damn it. I want to say something so bad.
You can't do it. Don't do it.
Nope. I think Braun's going to win the title, though. That's what I will say. I think Braun's going to take that Universal title, and I think, unfortunately, I can't even say it. I think Ziggler and Rude are going to be tag team champions. So gross.
I don't know if I feel right hearing that.
I need more beer. I threw up in my mouth a bit.
Oh my gosh. This article is brought to you by Anthony Benino. We are not trying to plagiarize his shit. We just reading it off the site, basically, and giving you our opinions on what's on the matters. That's all that's what's up.
I actually, and to put it out there, I like Anthony Benino overall. I think the majority of the time he rocks it on these recap things.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's, we have little issues with some of the wording and the editor not doing things.
You notice they didn't call to the hugger this week.
Oh yes, they did.
Did they?
Oh yes, they did. Let me scroll up to it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, the huggable one.
The huggable one. Oh,
one.
Damn. Okay. The huggable one. That's not. That goes. That goes.
It's basically the same thing. I mean,
Same.
that actually might even be worse. That's saying she's approachable. That's like when Drake said Pusha T was an approachable dude.
Wale was.
No. What?
I said Wale was an approachable dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Wale was. Pusha T, no.
Well, you gotta look at the lifestyle. You know what I mean? Like
yeah, absolutely. Pusha T's scurry in the best way.
Scurry. Oh man. Let's see here.
All right, Mac. Somebody get first one?
Yeah.
All right. Andy Orton, Star Kofi, Kingston, Man, BK, Oculum. Paul Ray Orton beating in the direct attempt to put WWE champion. Sorry. Amy, World Heavy.
There we go.
King. And recently, Kingston kicked off Mac Live, suspended for WWE Clash King, so that he could play on the fight for everything that he's done to him, his family, and the New Day. However, I think it was quickly found out Impact Predator was a stoop even lower. We heard on Tron calling him stupid, all the fucking amount of time with a letter from a young WWE member. The fucker claimed that letter was from no ordinary fan, but Kofi's son Ty, who was writing Randy to him and Daddy alone. And the letter allowed to a speeding king, and claimed he was in the same hotel as King's family. The Viper seemed to revel in the idea of going to see Kofi's family. That's how it's out now. Kingston darted out of the ring with purpose and met him in the backstage area, setting up Wild for All. Kofi wall Viper that blows the Apex Predator stood up the front hand, landing a great DDT off the production on the Grappler before the personnel turned into Orton exited.
Dead DDT. It's a dead man DDT. Damn it. He looks like dead man. They look like they're dead men hanging on it, and they probably feel like one when they get hit with it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
But anyway, dripping DDT, if you will.
I think Drake is, it's totally accurate. Drake or something.
I guess.
Yeah.
Put him on. No, yeah, dipping one upwards, Alton, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Kingston was down, and Orton is now up in every facet imaginable as WWE Clash of Champions approaches. So far, if we're going on WWE math, Kofi is absolutely retaining that Clash of Champions. We'll see what happens tonight and next weekend, but so far, Kofi is a 100% surefire bet to retain.
Yeah, because WWE math don't lie. And he keeps getting his ass whipped.
Yeah, he keeps getting his ass whipped. The New Day keeps getting their asses whipped.
Oh my God. Yo, can I tell you how I was legitimately mad? Like,
You what?
I was legitimately mad. I was like, was last week or the week before? When they popped out Xavier's knee. I was cussing at the TV.
Yeah.
I was cussing. It was a problem for me, bro. It was a problem for me. But,
Yeah, that was foul.
yeah, that did not,
No, I could see that.
All right.
I do love the teaming of Randy and the Revival top guys. I think that's an amazing team up because, god damn it, if they aren't all fantastic at being total pieces of shit.
Like, what's their team name?
Pardon?
What's their group name? Their stable name?
Do they have one? Is it?
I'm not sure they have one. I know the assisted RKO doesn't really sound as potent as it could.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just Randy and the Revival or something, or like Revival KO. I don't know.
Revival KO. That one might stick. That one might stick.
If it does, I want my goddamn share.
They'll probably switch it up a little bit so you don't get one, though.
Yeah, some of the bitches. Let's stick it. Give it WWE their creative.
I'm telling you, man, they get so many ideas from us. All right. What is it? Ali defeated Buddy Murphy in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament.
Big win.
Yeah. Two surging superstars collided in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament as Ali and Buddy Murphy set their sights on the throne. Two former rivals went absolutely berserk, with such highlights as a dazzling senton dive from Murphy and Ali connecting with an unreal reverse Rana. In the critical moments, though, Ali weathered the absolute onslaught from Buddy, finding a space to connect with one of the most amazing DDTs you'll ever see into a dazzling 450 splash, giving Ali one of the biggest wins of his life. WWE's Best Kept Secret showed respect where it was due after the Thriller, raising Ali's hand in victory.
Yeah, that was cool. So interesting that they seem to be kind of reversing their Buddy Murphy heel tactics. Like, it seems like that was a very face against face style match. The raising Ali's hand at the end of it was a good show. That could be a swerve. You know, maybe if Ali ends up getting eliminated, then maybe Buddy has something to do with that. We get a Buddy Murphy Ali feud. There's a bunch of options they have going with that. But I thought it was very interesting that Buddy Murphy was being such a good, like a face, like a good sport about everything.
Yeah, I was surprised. I thought it was going to lead to. I thought he was going to probably like boot him in the gut and then, you know what I mean, hit him with the finisher. I thought he was gonna kick his ass so bad that he took Ali's place in the next round, and then Ali was gonna get retaliation during the next round. That's already happened to Ali, though. The what? That's already happened to him. Isn't that why Kofi's a champion? Well, yeah, him getting taken out of a pay-per-view was definitely that. Yeah. Because he legit got injured. I thought it was just gonna be a thing where they're, it's I guess you're right. It would be a little bit redundant to do it again. I just thought it would. That's just the first thought I had of where it was going to go. But I'm definitely interested to see where they're going to go with that. Okay. Yeah. Miz yet again felt the wrath of Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn. What a great team! Oh man, last week. Speaking of great team up, speaking of great team up, Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura gave Shinsuke a perfect mouthpiece, and that mouthpiece is Sami Zayn. Thank you, Vince. I would never have even thought of that. Nah, I didn't see that coming. Genius. Last week on SmackDown Live, The Miz became the first superstar to feel what Intercontinental Champion Shinsuke Nakamura was capable of, with Sami Zayn guiding him as spokesperson. Tonight, the A-lister arrived with a challenger for WWE's Rockstar, defend the Intercontinental Championship title. Let's read that again. The A-lister arrived with a challenge for the WWE's Rockstar. Defend the Intercontinental title against him at WWE Clash of Champions so that Miz could regain the title he so believes he once again made prestigious.
He did.
He did. That rivalry between him and Ziggler. The rivalry.
Yeah, him and Ziggler. Him and who was the second one? Who was after Ziggler?
Not Shinsuke.
Fuck. Who else was IC champ recently?
Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor. No, that was after.
Yeah.
That was after, though.
Yeah, that was after, but you're getting closer. Was it Bobby?
Bobby was champ for a bit. Was it Roman champ for a bit, too?
Maybe, yeah, he was. Yeah, because he's a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? And yeah, I think it was Roman who beat Miz for it, and then Miz turned face after that.
Yeah.
Because we never had face Intercontinental Champion Miz. That we have not had.
No. Arriving by his lone... Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, I'm into it, though. I'm into face champion Miz. For the first time ever.
You know, he's face because of his reality show. Like, everybody sees the other side of him, so it's like they're not able to disassociate the heel Miz from from face Miz, yeah.
That's a good point, and you know what? I have not watched any of that Miz and Mrs. show, but some of the clips have actually looked pretty funny, so I might give that a shot at some point.
Yeah, it's jokes still. Okay. Hold on a second.
Arriving
by his lonesome, Zayn scoffed at the notion that Nakamura or the Intercontinental title would ever need to associate with Miz to gain prestige, and claimed the A-lister was soft. The laser-sharp Miz darted out of the ring to beat some respected to Sammy, but Shinsuke immediately blindsided and pummeled the Miz, laying him out for the second straight week with multiple Kinshasas, as a giddy Zayn commented on the microphone in euphoria and held Miz down for the attack. Zayn kept harping on Nakamura's artistry. Clearly the picture they're aiming to paint is pain.
I love it. What a great combination of people.
Yep.
So good. Here, I'll get this next one.
Yeah.
Bayley defeated Lacey Evans as Charlotte Flair watched. Lacey Evans received a match against Bayley after sharing tea time with WWE management, as the lady agreed with Charlotte Flair's assessment that Bayley isn't up to the high standard of representing the women's division on SmackDown Live. So Bayley came right at Evans in this non-title matchup, clearly looking to make a statement to Flair ahead of their SmackDown Women's title match clash at WWE Clash of Champions. Don't say clash twice in a sentence.
You know what I mean, though?
The SmackDown one. You're a dick. The title holder very soon got the chance to make the statement right in front of her as the Queen arrived during the contest to get an up-close look. In the clutch, Bayley fought through the pain of her injured arm, which Evans relentlessly targeted throughout the bout, and planted Lacey with a Bayley to belly, though Evans grabbed the bottom rope during the pin attempt. The hugger, who persevered with a second Bayley to belly, followed by a top rope elbow to score an incredibly gutsy win on the road to WWE Clash of Champions. You know what? Actually, no. I'm not going to boo them calling her the hugger because it's so accurate. There's no way she'll ever become not the hugger. She's such a sweet person.
I'm trying to figure out who had the longest run as face outside of Cena. Hogan.
Hogan, yeah, it might be Hogan, might be. I was gonna say it might be Bayley.
Might be.
Fucking NXT now.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's check that out.
It's a pretty long face ride. Although, I mean, you know what? No, Gorilla Monsoon.
Oh wait, yeah.
Gorilla Monsoon was never a heel while he was in the ring. Neither was Homeboy. Who's Homeboy? Who was the longest reigning champion of all time, like not modern era?
Bruno Sammartino.
Yeah, Bruno Sammartino. I mean, that was like 10 years straight as a face.
Wasn't it like 15?
It might have been, yeah, actually. It was something crazy like that. But like the crazy thing is like he was selling out Madison Square Garden every single time as a face champion. It's like, god damn. And then the night they decided to take the title off of him, the audience rioted.
Oh man, did they?
So, back in the day was crazy.
Oh man, wow.
Yeah. Here, what's the next one here? Okay. Randy Orton defeated Big E. Following Randy Orton's ominous and haunting words earlier that led to the brutal brawl between he and Kofi Kingston in the evening, a belt between he and Big E was made official. But Big E was tasked with having to fend off more than just the Viper. Clearly looking to defend the honor of his New Day brother, Kofi Kingston, Big E came out of the gates hot, slinging the Apex Predator into the steel steps and hurling him over the announce table. However, the match took a critical turn when Orton raked Big E's eye and began to systematically tear him apart. The New Day member refused to let the Viper's dirty tactics slow him down, so the Revival soon hit the scene and nailed Big E with hits to his head behind the official's back that opened Big E up to the pinpoint RKO for the victory. The onslaught wouldn't end there, with Kofi Kingston receiving medical attention after his earlier brawl with Orton. The Apex Predator and the Revival lifted the already battered Big E for their devastating super RKO to lay the big man out. Orton had made his second statement of the night, and neither were particularly kind to the New Day.
Super RKO. Is that really the best they could come up with?
That they were not particularly kind?
No, the Super RKO.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Wouldn't the Super RKO be an RKO from the top rope?
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe, because
Superplex?
They flip between things. They flip between things, though. Sometimes the thing from the top rope is called a super whatever it is. Sometimes it's called a avalanche, whatever it is. So it's hard to say, because, I mean, there's the avalanche style clash. There's the actually, no, that is the super style clash. There's I'm trying to remember. Avalanche was used for Cena's thing.
Avalanche AA.
Yeah, I was going to say the Avalanche FU. That would be pre-PG. The Avalanche Attitude Adjustment, which is a AAA, ironically.
In America.
But yeah, I mean, it switches back and forth, so it's hard to say. But yeah, Super RKO, I think, is the wrong name for that. I don't think I feel like that's something Michael Cole would call it, which would almost invariably mean it's incorrect.
Yeah, no. I'm trying to figure out. Like, I'm still waiting for them to call it a Que Paso. So.
That is true, racist.
That is not racist. It's prejudice at best. It might be stereotyping. I'll admit. But there's no malice towards the individual, so it can't be racist.
I will never say otherwise anyways, regardless. Here's what I'm happy about. As if fate had determined it, I am once again on the 24/7 segment.
Yeah.
Drake Maverick wound up as 24/7 champion after a chaotic series of events was set off by Kevin Owens. Elias walked into SmackDown Live with the 24/7 championship by his side and sitting atop the King of the Ring throne, attempting to make a bold statement to all those who sit in his path en route to becoming the king. But Kevin Owens had bold statements of his own in mind. KO, who was defeated by Elias in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament in controversial fashion last week, soon hit the scene to interrupt his nemesis. To borrow a phrase from Stone Cold, Owens proceeded to raise hell, hitting Elias with a stunner and leaving. That stunner opened the door for a 24/7 title bedlam, as R-Truth appeared with a referee in an attempt to capitalize on the fallen Elias. Truth couldn't seal the deal this time, as Drake Maverick popped up, tossed R-Truth into the ring post, and pinned Elias for 3 to become the new 24/7 champion. And then got the heck out of Dodge, as hopefully into a situation that finally results in him consummating his marriage.
Oh man,
it's the best thing ever.
I knew it. Yeah, I mean, kudos to her for going along with this. It's like she needs the Jenny Award for patience. Yeah.
She's awesome. She is wicked. I love the fact that she is so down with doing this stuff. Like, God bless any woman who allows a 24/7 title change to happen during her walk back down the aisle with her husband at her wedding. Like, that is
memorable.
An infinite amount of patience and respect.
Yeah, it is.
Thank God for Renee Michelle. Thank God for her.
Boom. So we got Chad Gable defeating Shelton Benjamin in the first round of the King of the Ring tournament. You know, I call this.
You gotta say Shelton Benjamin's name right. You gotta say it like the Usos taught us.
Shelton. Shelton Benjamin. Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin closed out the first round of the King of the Ring tournament on SmackDown Live as the two former tag team partners collided to earn the final spot in the quarterfinals. Benjamin, the crafty veteran, looked to have all his trash talk pay dividends early, coming out and applying pressure quick. Benjamin kept the results at the match, kept up the insults as the match progressed, until Gable could simply take them no more, unleashing on Shelton with a barrage of offense. From there, the two would go back and forth in an ultra-physical contest until Gable was able to counter Shelton with the impressive roll-up that would secure the 3 count and the chance to be in the next King of the Ring.
So, a couple things here. Good job on Shelton getting that new haircut. Not Shelton, sorry. Shelton didn't have any hair to cut to begin with.
Gable.
Good job, Chad Gable, convincing them to let you get that haircut because you look much less silly without all that long hair and the stupid Ready Willie and Gable towel.
Yeah, he still looks he looks young now though, like mad young.
Yeah, he does. He looks young, but he also looks like a totally different person. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
I didn't even, the first time he came out with that hairstyle, I didn't recognize him.
No.
I did not recognize him at all. And still, when I see his picture, until I see his name, sometimes I'm like, who the fuck? All right. Like, Chad, good job, buddy. Yeah, I think Chad's killing it. He's a great wrestler. He is one of the people who, I will not even say sometimes is always underutilized. He's, the only time he ever gets a push is in tag teams, it seems. And he can do so much more than that. He's an incredible wrestler. He's a legitimate All-American, a legitimate, I believe he was either almost or was actually on the U.S. Olympic wrestling team.
He was on it.
So he's got that.
Did he win a silver medal?
Maybe. I think that might have been actually in the NCAA that he got second.
Okay.
Chad Gable, amateur wrestling. I'll look that up. He's great though. I thought it was a weird swerve where they tried to make him, where they tried to pass off, who I assume is dead now, Jordan. What's his name? Who is his tag team partner? Jordan.
Jason Jordan.
Yeah, Jason Jordan. Sorry. My apologies to Jason Jordan. May he rest in peace.
He's still alive.
Oh, is he? There's literally no way I could have known that, because where the fuck has he been? He is, he was fan. They're a great team in NXT. I felt Jason didn't really hold up as well on the main roster. It certainly didn't help him get over being Kurt Angle's illegitimate son. That was a horrific gimmick. They really should have just made it Chad Gable. Like, that, from what I heard...
I don't even know why they even bothered trying that angle. It was so sad. It was such a reach.
From what I heard...
No, Mabel, not Mabel.
Sorry, what?
I was gonna say, giving birth to a hand even was less of a reach.
Yeah, right. Well, from what I heard was it was kind of a mean joke on McMahon's part about the fact that the majority of Kurt's love interests, like girlfriends and stuff from back in the day, were black chicks. And apparently Vince thought that would be the best way to go about, bringing that in, is to make Jason Jordan his illegitimate son out of nowhere. So yeah, that was strange. I feel sorry for Jason Jordan once again. May he rest in peace. But Chad Gable, I think, is going to do great things. I just don't see him winning this tournament. I just don't. And I'm here on his amateur wrestling career. He defeated Jordan Holm 2-0 in the final of the 2012 Olympic trials. Then he went to the 2012 Summer Olympics where he defeated Kitani Graham in the qualification round, but he was eliminated from the competition in the next round. So he did not win any medals in the Olympics, but he was a legitimate Olympian in 2012. So that just adds to what I like to the thing of like he has great credentials to be able to push him far, and a much better backstory to being Kurt's kid.
Well, they didn't play that card.
No, they didn't.
All right. Going on to the next one. Roman Reigns exposed Eric Rowan as his attacker. Daniel Bryan.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan. The lookalike had such a lumpy head, bro.
I know, he was awful looking.
Oh my gosh, he looked like he just got beat up by somebody. Either way, Daniel Bryan and Eric Rowan wanted an apology from Roman Reigns, but that's not exactly what went down. Excuse me. Before Roman could get the word out after hitting the ring, Bryan and Rowan appeared on the Titantron and yet again prompted the big dog to apologize. Reigns, however, had a different idea. He rolled the footage that clearly showed Eric Rowan was responsible for the first attack on Roman. Bryan exploded, slapping Rowan repeatedly, telling him to get out of his sight. Bryan lost it on the microphone, screaming that he hates liars and suggested that someone must have to put Rowan up to going after Reigns. However, ding dong. However, before is that hair? That was there. Okay. Before Bryan could explain further, Reigns dropped him with a brutal spear, making it clear he had no interest in any explanations tonight.
Yeah, so, I mean, who could have saw that coming? They had a random look-alike for no reason. Not like I would have said that last week, but whatever. This is a weird story, man. I don't know where the hell they're going with this. I'm fairly certain Daniel Bryan is not turning face. I'm pretty sure Daniel Bryan is just going to turn out to have been the one to order the attack anyways, and this is all going to be 3 weeks of bullshit for nothing. But, I could be wrong. Hopefully last week is what I was right with, and the person putting Rowan up to it all is Hornswoggle.
Oh, man. Shout out to Ryan Papola?
Yeah, Ryan Papola.
Ryan Papola for the publishing. All right,
yeah,
so
good job.
Now we got you got the latest of the goings on here. NXT UK actually went down this past weekend, did it not?
I think so. Let me see. I haven't not got to watch much of NXT UK lately.
Nor have I.
But there was well, I guess it was just TV taping this week. Let me just double check something here. Okay, so yeah, I've not watched it. It was a UK takeover on August 1st, and I'm sure he'd be coincidentally the same exact night that AEW had their All Out. They had a UK takeover card. We had a reach between Walter and Tyler Bate. I guess a reach. Tyler Bate and Walter for the UK title. Walter successfully retained. We had Kaylee Ray versus Toni Storm, and Kaylee Ray is officially the new NXT UK Women's Champion, so that is very, very cool. Joe Coffey defeated Dave Mastiff. I'm not familiar with Dave. Mark Andrews, a.k.a. Mandrews, and Flash Morgan Webster. Flash Morgan Webster, if anybody who's listening hasn't seen it or seen him, Flash Morgan Webster is awesome. He's such a cool character. I don't want to tell anybody anything about him. Just go look him up. He's really interesting and really cool. They defeated Zach Gibson and James Drake. And Gallus, which is Mark Coffey and Wolfgang, they defeated them to become the new NXT UK Tag Team Champions. Cesaro had a match against Ilya Dragunov and won. Noam Dar defeated Travis Banks. Cassius Ohno defeated Sid Scala. And Rhea Ripley, who I absolutely adore. Rhea Ripley is a fucking savage. Defeated Piper Niven, who's also great. So those are very cool. I'm probably going to watch that later tonight now that I know it happened. I don't know how I missed that happening. I've been slacking apparently.
I'm surprised because, like, I don't know if I mentioned it to you, but, like, yeah, no, I'm not even going to take the blame for this one.
No, don't worry about it. I had no idea that was happening, and I really should have. But, yeah, so, I mean, that sounds like it was a great show. I'm going to have to watch that later tonight. Everyone who's listening, I definitely suggest doing that, too, on NX, or on the WWE Network, which is only $9.99 a month, U.S.
Which equates to about $11 or $13.99, depending on your carrier in Canada.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, so I mean, all I would say on that is definitely do that, and I would say WWE Network should hurry up and get us a promo code. Beyond that, we had we'll stick with wrestling for now. AEW. AEW, as I said before, had their all-out pay-per-view on August 31st, the same night as NXT UK TakeOver Cardiff. Great. I won't say great. It was a very, very good show. Start to finish, it was very good. It was not without its problems. There were some strange camera angles used during certain moves that, made the moves not look very devastating at all. There were some very obvious botches from people who are way better than the botches they had. Talking specifically about Kenny Omega.
You got named.
Pac.
You got named. Thili called your name out. You didn't do a move properly. You need to fix that shit.
Well, it wasn't just a move. It was much more awkward than that.
Okay.
So, you know how when two people are bouncing off the ropes running at each other, one of them goes for a clothesline, the other one ducks under?
Yeah.
Now, imagine that, except neither of them throw a clothesline, and both of them duck under clotheslines that aren't being thrown at the other at the same time and just run past each other, crouched down like they're duck walking.
What the hell? I can picture that.
That's what happened. That happened. Like,
no.
Like 5 minutes of Kenny Omega versus Pac.
Oh my gosh.
There was also, and that wasn't the only botch during that match. It's the one that I remember because it was the most glaringly obvious of like, well, you both knew someone was supposed to throw a clothesline, but both of you assumed it wasn't you who was supposed to do it.
It's like, I got it, you get it.
Yeah, and all they did was they ran right past each other, bounced off the ropes again, and then I think one of them landed a clothesline. But it was like, it was very, very awkward. So it stood out, especially considering it was Pac and Kenny Omega.
Oh,
right?
no.
Neville is an incredible wrestler. Kenny Omega is one of the greatest wrestlers of this generation. Very strange. Beyond that, though, there were similar things happened in almost every match. I would say the standout match of the night was the Young Bucks against the Lucha Brothers, Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix, for the AAA World Tag Team Championship. The Young Bucks won that to retain it. That match is a must-watch for anybody who enjoys professional wrestling. It's incredible. My roommate was watching with me, and he was like marking out for some of the matches even, or some of the moves even in that one, because it was fucked up. They went crazy. He's even nodding at it right now. They had some crazy moves off the ladder that were so goddamn dangerous. It's unbelievable. There was some fucked up stuff going on in that match. So everybody who can, please find that online somewhere and watch it, because fuck. Absolutely crazy.
Watch it because fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
So just to go over the results quickly, Nyla Rose won won the 21-woman Casino Battle Royale by finally eliminating Britt Baker at the end. There was a lot of people in that match. I'm not going to bother going through all 21 indie wrestlers that were in there. But the winner of that, Nyla Rose, will go on to face the winner of Rio versus Hikaru Shida later in the night. That was on the pre-show. Then there was a tag team match versus Private Party, which is Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn, defeating Angelico and Jack Evans. That was just a straight-up tag team match. And then we got to the main card. First match of the main card, we have SoCal Uncensored, which is Christopher Daniels, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky, versus Jurassic Express, which is Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Marco Stunt. Yes, you fucking heard me right. There's a wrestler named Luchasaurus. He is exactly what you expect. He is a luchador wearing a fucking outfit that makes him look like a dinosaur. It's awesome.
Oh my
Wrestling is
gosh.
so fucked up. Wrestling is a fucked up thing, and it's the best. After that, we had Pac versus Kenny Omega. Pac beat Kenny Omega by referee stoppage by making Kenny pass out in his submission move. Once again, great match, just some very awkward botches. I'm going to be looking up, I'm going to look up after to see what Dave Meltzer gave that match star rating wise, because if Meltzer gave that match another fucking 5 stars just because Kenny Omega was in it, then that throws out any sort of
legitimacy
I have for those star ratings anymore. Which I already don't take them as gospel or anything. You know, it's just kind of a
reference,
a guide on matches that I should check out.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're good if they're set that. If that's anything more than a 3.5 or a 4, I'm sorry, but fuck off.
You should send him a message if it is.
I'm sure several people have. So following that Kenny Omega versus Pac match, there was something that made me almost throw up in my mouth. As almost as much as Ziggler and Rude being tag team champions, which was they had by far the most egregious version of product placement or product integration, I guess is what they usually say, that I've ever seen in any form of wrestling, including 2001 WCW. They had a match called the Cracker Barrel Clash.
No.
Yeah, and the more painful than that awful name was listening to Jim Ross, good old JR, and the other two random ass announcers that they have talk about how, oh, well, I'm going to Cracker Barrel for that, and how Cracker Barrel's Sunday fried chicken dinner is now available every day of the week, and blah, 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 blah. I don't give a fuck about Cracker Barrel. Leave those assholes out of my goddamn wrestling, please.
They're sponsoring the company. They have to get their say.
They do, but they don't have to have a match called a Cracker Barrel Clash where they talk about Cracker Barrel and their menu items for fucking 23 minutes.
It sounds like an Eric Bischoff move, but I mean, I'm sure more people are going to Cracker Barrel now.
It sounds like a Vince Russo move.
Yeah, Russo, Bischoff, one's the hand, one's the glove.
Yeah, now I will say this. They did redeem themselves for their corny asses immediately, because about 20 seconds into the match, I realized that what they meant by a Cracker Barrel Clash is that this is an ECW match.
It's a what?
It was an ECW match, essentially. 20 seconds in, Jimmy Havoc went under the ring and pulled out a staple gun and 3 chairs, got into the ring, stared at the other 2 opponents, Darby Allin and Joey Janela, and stapled his own shirt to his chest several times. Then, Darby Allin and Joey Janela, realizing that Jimmy Havoc is a fucking psychopath, both teamed up on him, duct taped him to a chair, pulled out a bag of thumbtacks, took a handful of thumbtacks and shoved them in Jimmy Havoc's mouth, and then taped his mouth shut, before then doing a swanton bomb off the top rope to the outside through Jimmy Havoc and the chair, breaking the tape.
You can't see it right now, ladies and gentlemen, but my jaw is agape.
Yeah, that was the first 4 minutes of that match. All of that happened in the first 4 minutes of that match, and it went on for another 15.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like ECW.
Jimmy Havoc, when he finally got the tape taken off of his mouth, spit a mouthful of thumbtacks into the eyes and face of Joey Janela, and then stapled Darby Allin's face.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So that was fucked up.
They're going
Following that
extreme.
was Dark Order, which is Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. They defeated the Best Friends, aka my boy Chucky T, Chuck Taylor, and Trent Beretta. The winner of that match received a first-round bye in the AEW World Tag Team Championship Tournament, which will be starting in early October when they debut on TNT, October 2nd.
October 2nd.
Yeah. And the next match after that was Rio defeated Hikaru Shida. Both of them are fantastic Japanese women's wrestlers. Very, very good. I believe it's Hikaru Shida who is... Rio, who won, is like all of, I don't know, maybe 4'6". Like, she is a short girl. I was wrong. 5'1", but still, she's very, very petite, very tiny, wears a tutu to the ring, and she's a badass. But she won. The winner of that match, as I said before, went on to face Nyla Rose, and that will be happening on October 2nd on TNT. And the winner of that will become the inaugural AEW Women's World Champion. Following that, we had Cody with MJF defeated Sean Spears, a.k.a. Ty Dillinger, who will be getting married in the next week or two to Peyton Royce. Yep. And interesting enough, in Sean Spears' corner was Tully Blanchard, fucking legend. Tully Blanchard was in his corner. Former Four Horsemen, Tully Blanchard. Best known probably during his tag team run with Arn Anderson, the Enforcer. Near the end of the match, after getting fed up with Tully Blanchard's consistent interference, the match was saved by none other than the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, who came out and delivered a picture-perfect spinebuster at his age to Sean Spears. And then Cody won with the pin. That was fantastic. Then we had, like I told you guys before, Lucha Brothers versus the Young Bucks in a ladder match called the Escalera de la Muerte, which is
Ladder of Death
match. And Lucha Brothers regained their AAA World Tag Team Championship. I believe that's because the Young Bucks will more than likely be the inaugural Tag Team Champions for AEW. And then finally we had the main event to crown the inaugural AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Strange choice, I would say. I thought for sure this was going to go the other way. But Chris Jericho is your inaugural AEW World Champion.
Yeah, another Canadian.
He's Hangman Adam Page, which all four Canadian being the inaugural champion. The only problem I have with it is Jericho going over Adam Page for something like that, where I think Adam Page totally deserves to be the inaugural champion and is a younger, more upcoming talent who is severely underrated even on the indie scene.
Yeah, for the inaugural.
Yeah, it's a strange choice, but also not a strange choice because he's Chris Jericho. He brings in a lot of eyes.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Yeah.
Still, very good match. That and Lucha Bros versus Young Bucks, I would say, are probably 1A and 1B for match of the night, followed closely by Lucha Brothers versus followed closely in second/third place by I mean, strangely enough, the Cracker Barrel clash. But yeah, so that was very, very, very good. And we'll see where that goes. Their next pay-per-view, they announced it during the show, is called Full Gear, AEW's Full Gear, and that will be November 9th at the Royal Farms Arena in Baltimore, Maryland.
Cheers.
Yeah, which is funny because that's where Raw was this weekend. Raw was in Baltimore just last night.
Yep. And we can't tell you nothing about it till Sunday. So tune in.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So yeah, that was AEW. Like I said, very, very good show. I wouldn't say great just because there's some technical stuff they need to work on with camera angles and their streaming stuff, but also strange number of botches for such talented guys.
All right, keep it going. I gotta step to the side for a second, but keep going with the next one.
Yeah, sure. So the next thing that we had was also on August 31st. This took place at 6 a.m. from the Shenzhen University Sports Center in Shenzhen, China. We had UFC Fight Night 157. It was a pretty good card. We had a lot of decisions, but we also had a few good finishes. We had a round 3 submission by Jung Da-un versus Kaz Ibrahimagomedov. We also had a round 2 submission from Anthony Hernandez, who's trying to make a comeback after a devastating loss to Cowboy Cerrone when he had all the shit to say in the world until he.
Cowboy don't play though.
By Cowboy.
Cowboy don't play though.
No, Cowboy don't play. Cowboy tried to fight with a completely shut eye after he blew a broken nose in his last fight against Tony Ferguson, and he still tried to go out against doctor's orders. So you can't fuck with Cowboy. Anybody who wants to talk shit about Cowboy can take it up with me. But fuck that. Cowboy's awesome.
Yeah.
And then So and he's coming up on a fight soon too. I think in 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, we have. Actually, I can just pull it up here. We have 2 weeks. September 14th. This is going to be a fucked up card. Anybody who's interested in UFC and wants to see, or interested in starting to watch UFC and wants to see something crazy, I highly suggest watching Fight Night 158, September 14th, 8 p.m. It'll be on, if you're in Canada, it'll be on TSN. If you're in the States, it'll be on ESPN. It's a mad card. We got Glover Teixeira versus Nikita Krylov. We got Todd Duffy versus Jeff Hughes. And in the main event of that card, we have Donald Cowboy Cerrone, who, as we all just said, was a fucking badass.
Yeah.
Fighting Justin Gaethje, who is also a fucking badass. They're both monsters, and they will take ungodly amounts of punishment to themselves just for the chance to inflict a bit more on the other. My prediction for Justin Gaethje versus Donald Cerrone is nobody wins, and all 3 men in that octagon die.
Why did it get so escalated so quickly? Well, how are they just gonna?
Donald Cerrone versus Justin Gaethje. Nobody is leaving that octagon alive. They're both savages. They will both die before they let themselves just go down.
Oh man.
So I predict them and whatever referee is in there, please don't be Herb Dean, whatever referee is in there trying to separate those two are fucked.
Oh man.
All 3 of them are fucked. But yeah, so that's that one. But back to 157, the big 2 fights on that were the co-main and the main. Co-main was Li Jingliang, who is a savage, versus Eliseu Zakesi dos Santos. He's also a savage. 21-6 is that guy's record. Li Jingliang is at 17-5. He won by KO in the 3rd round with only 9 seconds left in the fight. 9 seconds left in the fight, and he landed some severe left hand directly to the bush and knocked Dos Santos out hard. That was phenomenal. And then in the women's main event, we had Jessica Andrade, my girl, fighting my other girl, Zhang Weili. And that was a 42-second fight.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Yeah. So Jessica Andrade and Zhang both went after each other immediately after the bell rang. They were both immediately walking forward towards each other, swinging. Jessica Andrade got caught with 2 hits that were devastating, and knocked her back a bit as she was stepping back to try to get out of the reach of Zhang. Unfortunately, Zhang, despite only being I think half an inch taller than Jessica, had a 3-inch reach advantage on Jessica and just clocked her with the very end of 2 real hardcore punches. Hit her with the Muay Thai knees, with the Muay Thai headlock, and then hit her with 2 more punches, and Jessica just fell flat on her face. 42-second fight, and new and first ever Chinese UFC world champion is Zhang Weili. And she gave a very, very memeable and repeatedly postable post-fight interview where she said, "My name is Zhang Weili. I'm from China." And that's all she said.
Oh my God.
And the crowd went nuts. It was super adorable. You could tell she was very overwhelmed with the win. The second Jessica fell down, Weili was running back and smiling and jumping up and down, dancing. It was a great, great win, and we'll see where this goes next because Weili has only lost once. Zhang Weili is 20 victories and 1 loss, which is incredible. Jessica Andrade, if Jessica Andrade had won, she would have been the first ever woman to successfully get 12 victories within the UFC. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait until the next fight to see if she can still get that record. Yeah. But yeah, great event. This Saturday, actually, we'll talk about this now because on Sunday I will be very hungover when we do the podcast. On Saturday we have UFC 242, Saturday, September 2nd, and it's at 2 p.m. So anybody who is looking forward to watching it, it's an early show. You're not going to have to stay up late to see the main event. The main card starts at 2. Prelims start at 12. And the early prelims start at 10:15 in the morning. It is a stacked card. It's coming from the Arena, which is in Dubai. It's the first ever UFC event there. We have Omari Akhmedov versus Zach Cummings. Great fight, and that's the first fight on the prelims, on the early prelims. So that's how you start knowing that you're in for a crazy card when the first fight in the prelims is one that you really want to watch. After that, we have Nordine Taleb, who is a complete psychopath in the ring. It's crazy the way this guy wins. Versus Muslim Saikov, who is 14-2. We have Takashi Sato versus Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad has been around for a minute. He's 15-3, very, very good. Takashi is 15-2, so a very close matchup. We've got Ottoman Azatir versus Timu Palikin. Liama Juja versus Sarah Maras. Sarah Maras is great. Zubaira Tugov versus Leon Murphy. Great fight. Joanne Calderwood, she is one to watch. She's an up-and-comer. She's 13-4 in her professional career. And she's fighting Andrea Lee, who is 11-2. Despite her being the same last name as me, I got to go for Joanne. She's a savage. And then finally, the main card. We have Merbek Kaisimov, who's great, versus Carlo Diego Ferreira. We have Curtis Blades versus Shamil Abdurakhmirov, which is the craziest last name in the world.
Wow. Wow. Kudos for being able to pronounce it.
Yeah. Fighting at heavyweight, that's 11-2 Curtis Blades versus Shamil, who is 20-4. We have Islam Makhachev versus Davi Ramos, which is 17-1 versus 10-2. Great fight. There's a co-main event of Edson Barboza, the legend. Edson Barboza has been around for a hot minute. He's 20-7, has some of the most severe leg kicks I've ever seen in my entire life. He completely destroys people with leg kicks. I believe he's one of only 2 people who actually have a finish in the UFC via leg kick. Like, he kicked somebody in the leg so hard that they quit.
Wow.
Yeah, that's impressive. He's fighting my boy, the Irish Dragon, Paul Felder. I got to go with Nick on this. Paul, I'm hoping Paul can pull that off against Edson. However, I will say Edson is terrifying. And then the main event is the big one, which is Khabib Nurmagomedov making his first his return for the first time since the incident after the Conor McGregor fight in October of last year. 27-0 Khabib is. I need somebody to beat him. Like, he has to lose because I need to know that he has the ability to lose. I'm uncomfortable with how victorious he's been. Is fighting Dustin Poirier, who is the current interim lightweight champion. Khabib is the undisputed lightweight champion, and they will be fighting against each other to determine who is the complete champion, like who is the unified champion for the lightweight division. And that's going to be a badass fight. 27-0 versus 25-5. Yeah, Dustin's been around for a hot minute. He's got big fights against Conor McGregor. He lost that fight, but it was a very good fight. He's been fighting for a decade, I want to say, in the UFC now.
Is it Ron McClain?
And this is his first actual undisputed title fight.
Okay, so he's making major moves.
He's a white Kofi Kingston.
He's a white Kofi Kingston.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Kingston coming out of New Orleans. They're actually Baton Rouge, but close enough.
Baton Rouge.
That's the UFC 242 card. That's happening Saturday afternoon. Definitely worth watching that. I will be watching it very late at night because I will be gone all day.
I will be doing the Tyrell Effect during that time.
Yes.
So, I'm not 100% sure.
I'll send you a link for it afterwards, for sure.
Wicked. See, for all my combat sports news, I go to Thili. You should too. That's why you're listening to Tough Talks with Thili and the Block.
Boom. Absolutely.
You see, it just works. It just works.
It just works.
Yeah.
Good. But yeah, that's everything. I think. I think New Japan. The only thing for New Japan that I have is that Jon Moxley has officially signed to have another match in New Japan. Very interesting. I'd love to see him face Naito if I could. I think that would be great. Tetsuya Naito versus Jon Moxley would be a banger of a fight. I'd also like to see him face Evil. So yeah, lots of guys in NJPW for him to face. Very excited that he's going to. He should be back in action after the staph infection he got. He should be back in action for around the beginning to mid-October, potentially late October. But it should be October that he's back, and then we'll get to finally see him versus Kenny Omega proper.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, I think that's it.
That's it, ladies and gentlemen of the interweb. You've been listening to Tough Talks with Thili and the Block. We got to make sure we say that more throughout the show, so we know what they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Thank you for listening. Anything you got to say?
No, just thanks for listening. We will be back at normal time next week on Sunday. We'll be sort of a little bit more back to normal.
Yeah, as normal as we can make it, anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, well, wherever you are, wherever you be, remember to tune in to us for the 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.